Hello everyone, it's Anthony, and we're ready for another session of the art of speaking English. Today we're going to look at word stress and sentence stress a little bit more in detail, mostly word stress. We'll get started immediately with the presentation and just look at the title, word and sentence stress. And firstly, we need to consider what is word stress. Okay, let's look at some words. Qualify, banana, understand. Okay, all of these words have three identifiable syllables, and one of the syllables in each word is a little bit louder, okay? It's a little bit more stressed. Listen again. Qualify, banana, understand. Okay, sometimes you can hear this clearer. It depends on the speaker, it depends on the situation, but definitely there is one syllable that is stressed. And we can represent that with these circles. Qualify, you see, qualify, three syllables. So we have qualify, well, qualify, we would be even. Then banana, and understand. Okay, so we have stress that can fall on any of the syllables of the word. There's no rule about where it can be, the first syllable, the second syllable, the third syllable. Okay, let's look at this first diagram, these first three syllables, something like in the word syllabus. You see, I have the word spelled with capital letters on the stress group, the stress syllable. And we can also put substitute in this group and technical. So we have three different words with this stressed syllable on the first syllable. Okay, and the second group with the stress syllable in the middle, we can put engagement, banana, and phonetic. So these are three words with this syllable in the middle that is stressed, the second syllable. And here we have the third syllable. Words like usherette, kangaroo, and understand. Okay, so these stressed syllables can be in any part of the word. You just need to understand and try to distinguish when you're listening to the stressed syllable. It's very, very important because you can learn a lot and you can understand better. Okay, let's look at this group again. In the previous slide, we had some three-syllable words like the word syllabus. Now I want to represent this word with the, let me just show you here. We have the stressed syllable here, syllabus or substitute, and you'll see that these weaker syllables, these weaker sounds are many times the schwa here in substitute and also in technical. You see there's a schwa here. And the second group, the same, engagement. Okay, here it's different, but here the vowel sound is a very, very short schwa sound, and that you will hear. That's generally a way that you can emphasize the stressed syllable. So you have also banana. You see the two syllables that are not stressed are unstressed with a schwa, and the main syllable is a long syllable, a long vowel. Okay, you have phonetic. The first sound is a schwa. And in the third group, you can see a charette, schwa sound in the second syllable. We have kangaroo, kangaroo, and understand. You have the schwa in the second syllable, understand. Okay, so this is a consideration that you have the stressed syllable, but you also have the unstressed syllable. So those are two important factors. We can see that this schwa can have many different letters, right? When I say schwa, I am referring to the phonetic symbol and the sound, about. But the representation in the word can be with many different letters. It doesn't necessarily have a rule about the spelling of the schwa. We see it in the second case with paper. So the schwa sound at the end is represented with an E and an R. And then we can also see it in intricate, another time as an A sound. So the schwa is a very, very frequent sound in English language, and you should listen for this sound, try to identify it. It's crucial because you may have difficulties in understanding native speakers because you don't understand this schwa sound. Okay, let's look at how this sound can be represented in spelling. Okay, we have various ways. We have, for example, the letter A, which happens in the word arise. You see the syllable is on the second, stressed syllable is on the second syllable, and so the unstressed syllable is the sound, syllable, just like the word syllable. And banana, we saw before, it can be represented by the letter AE, as in the word phenomenon. You see it's represented a couple of times there. Excellent, first syllable is stressed, the second two syllables are unstressed. We have vowel. Okay, the second syllable is not stressed. Then we have the letter I. We also have the letter I. We can see it in the word pupil. Now, this may also be perceived without the schwa. This pupil, this could be just pull. It depends. Pupil. It can be pronounced that way, but I have it represented here as a schwa to show you also the possibility of that word being used with the sound being with an I. And okay, experiment also. We have experiment and communicate. You see the schwa sound as the third syllable. Okay, this is a 4-syllable word. Communicate. Okay, so following that, we also have the letter O, like in the word tomorrow. And this is a big problem for a lot of non-English speakers. They see an O and they think they're going to have the word sounding like tomorrow or something like tomorrow, which can be an alternative stress, but it's generally tomorrow. I'll come tomorrow. Button. We have also here the same sound. Develop. 3 syllables. The second syllable is stressed. Develop. and that also could be eliminated in some time in some speakers. You have the letter U. So all of the vowel sounds can make the schwa. Support, support. We have bogus, bogus, and difficult. So all of these letters will be spelled in a way, but the sound is always the schwa. And this is giving an unstressed syllable. So let's look at also whole syllables that are reduced to a schwa. Okay, we saw in the other group paper, we also can see butter. So the entire syllable is reduced to a schwa in this case. Thorough, thorough, thorough. Okay, this is a lot of letters here, but it's just one sound, thorough, thorough. And it's the second syllable, and it's a schwa. We have facilitator, facilitator, tater. So the last syllable with OR is reduced to a schwa. And polar, polar. Okay, this is extremely common in British speakers. Americans tend to put a little bit of an R sound, polar, polar, but it's not a very strong schwa, strong vowel sound. It's still polar, polar. Okay. Another time you can see that we have words that finish with certain suffixes, and these suffixes can represent a schwa sound. And this is very useful because you can look at this as a pattern, okay? And it's very common in these words that end in O-U-S, words like conscious, conscious. You see that conscious, the last syllable, which is practically the C-I-O-U-S, is reduced to two different sounds, the schwa and the S, conscious. The same with fictitious. So this is a pattern that we can see. When we see the spelling of O-U-S, we can imagine that that's going to be a schwa. It also happens in words that end in A-L. We have words like spatial, spatial. You'll see the last syllable, A-L, is a suffix, and this suffix is pronounced with the schwa. We also see it in the word capital, capital. So we have a schwa here, and topical, topical. So these unstressed syllables are across the board with these suffixes. Here we have another group, words ending in I-O-N, words like session, session. So we have the schwa sound representing the I-O of the final suffix shun, session. We also have it in the word pronunciation, pronunciation. So the last syllable with a T-I-O-N is the same pronunciation, shun, shun. It's very, very short. And attention, attention. So we have the schwa as the last syllable there. Words that end in A-T-E, words like accurate, accurate. You see, we have the A-T-A sound that is reduced to a schwa and a T. So it's rit, rit. It's not strong, not accurate. It's accurate. Okay, and we also have it in the word private, private. So these endings with ATA, also delicate, delicate. Okay, so it's an unstressed vowel, which usually is reduced to a schwa. So these are some groups. You can regard this as a pattern, as a certain pattern. And in fact, talking about word stress, can we say that there is a rule? No. It's more important to understand the description or the pattern of the tendency rather than the rules. Okay, that's because rules only tell you what is true most of the time. It's almost always you're going to find exceptions. Learners should learn not to simply memorize this information, but look at it as a pattern, something that is a generalized idea. Rules are of some use, certainly, and they should be studied. They're worth studying at appropriate times, but they're not as important to memorize as to try to use them in the real-time communication. Okay, try to understand them when you're speaking, and you need to find situations where you can speak. Okay, it makes sense for learners to discover patterns which are applicable and relevant to the language they're learning at a particular time, but keep in mind that they are rules of thumb only. Okay, they're rules of thumb. That means that they're not black and white. They're not written in stone. They're not rules of thumb. They're just general patterns. Okay, let's look at core vocabulary. Many everyday words, especially nouns and adjectives that are 2 syllables, generally we have the first syllable. Okay, this is a pattern. It's not a rule, but words like sister, brother, mother, water, paper, table, coffee, lovely. Okay, so all of these words have the stress on the first syllable. There are 2 syllables in the word, and generally very, very common words will have the stress on the first syllable. Okay, you can also see that the second syllable is many times the schwa. Okay, let's look at another pattern. We saw before some suffixes. Let's look at prefixes and suffixes. Okay, we have these are not usually stressed. Okay, we saw them in the other slide, but we can also see that quietly, the last syllable is not stressed. It's a suffix, li. So all of your adverbs that come from adjectives will have this kind of pattern. Okay, just like originally. Okay, we have the schwa before the last syllable, and we have the last syllable with a short I sound, originally. Words like defective. You see that tiv, the last syllable, is not stressed. It's a suffix, tiv. Discolor. The second syllable is stressed, color, so discolor. Illegal. You'll see that the first syllable is not stressed. The second syllable is illegal. Illegible. Illogical. You see there's a pattern. Discolor, discover, discomfort. You can see that there's patterns here. Reclaim. The re is very short. Reclaim, redo. Uneasy. The second syllable is stressed. Regardless. We have regardless. Less is less stressed. You might have a minor stress on that sometimes, but it's not the major stress. Foolishness. Both suffixes, ish and nas, are not stressed. The main word is stress, foolishness. And so these are some ideas. But remember that these are patterns. They're not rules, because we can also see in the word bicycle. Bi is a prefix. It means 2, but we don't stress the second syllable. Bicycle, we say bicycle, bicycle. So all of the words with biology, bisexual, biopsy. Dislocate, we have dislocate. We saw before discolor, but we can also see dislocate. Dislocate. We dislocated. I dislocated my elbow or my shoulder. So be careful with the exceptions. We can see that compound words, word combinations will have the stress on the first element. So words that are combined from two words, words like newspaper, newspaper, this stress is on the first element, the first word, newspaper. Teapot, we have teapot, and that's stressed on the first syllable. Crossword, crossword, we have first syllable cross, which is the word. Gentleman, gentleman, we have gentle as the first element. Tablecloth, tablecloth, that's stressed on the first word, the first element. Fundraiser, fundraiser, first word. And let's look at another possible pattern. Words with dual roles. So we have words that can be both nouns and verbs. We can say that in the case of a noun, the same word will have the stress on the first syllable, while the same word as a verb will have a stress on the second syllable. Let's look at some examples. We have import as a noun. The country has many imports, but we have import as a verb. So we are importing different products. Rebel, rebel as a noun, we have the stress on the first syllable, and rebel, rebel on the second syllable, rebel. So you see the word changes very, very strongly because of the stress. Increase, I need an increase in my salary, but I wasn't increasing my abilities. Increase, we increase things, that's a verb. We can see produce, produce, which is fruits and vegetables in the market, produce, and the word produce as a verb. So produce and produce actually changes the pronunciation. So sentence stress, in any sentence, some words will carry a stress. Okay, what happens with words in a small microcosm happens in a macrocosm as a sentence. So we have strong lexical words, usually nouns, verbs, adjectives, and unstressed words, which are usually grammatical words that are unstressed or weak. Conjunctions, pronouns, prepositions, auxiliaries, articles. Those are the words that people tend to say, oh, these words are eaten or swallowed by the English speakers. Well, we just don't stress them. Let's look at an example. Okay, he's the tallest person in the room. He's the tallest person in the room. Just saying this in a natural way, he's the tallest person in the room. We're going to see the stress fall on the word tallest and person and room. Let's look at this. You have the noun he, the verb he is, the article the adjective tallest. The adjective is a lexical word, and person, the noun, is a person. This also is a lexical word, he is a pronoun, so the pronoun doesn't get stressed. In as a preposition, and the as an article. Room is a noun, and it's being stressed. It's a lexical word. He's the tallest person in the room. He's the tallest person in the room. Okay, so yeah, have no stress. I see Rama, thank you very much. Okay, have no stress at all. In Indonesian, we have no stress at all. It's probably a another type of language, not a stress syllable language. But thank you very much for your comment, and thank you for your comment. And I will also thank you for your comment, and I will also remind my viewers that you can subscribe below. Hit the subscribe button, and you can go to that. And there's something wrong here with the full scene. I don't know why, but my face is not moving here. See, I don't know what's happening here, but anyway, I'll just say goodbye here. Thank you very much for joining me. We'll see you next time. Have a good day, a good afternoon.